Well. This is the Melvin Live Show, and welcome everybody. I am so glad to have you here. You can be anywhere in the world, but you choose to be here. If you're watching on LinkedIn, hello everybody on LinkedIn. All my good friends on LinkedIn, how's everyone doing? Today is a Sunday, and as always, Sunday is a good day. And if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you hit the like button. And some new development here on Facebook is that from now on, you're going to be liking the book, liking the Facebook, and not so much following the Facebook. Um, and then the other thing is that for some reason tonight, YouTube is not working. I do not know why. If you face the same problem, let me know so that I know that I'm not the only one. But for some reason, I am not able to stream to um, Facebook. Yeah, so um, yeah, let me know what's going on there. If you have any idea, let me know. Let me know. Let me know. Let me know. All right, and so today we're gonna be talking about the idea of rethinking the workflow. Now, one thing that I am very conscious about it's the idea of workflow. Now, the idea of workflow is fairly simple. The whole premise behind that is that we want to be able to achieve that level of greatness. We want to be able to achieve that level of work that we want to do. And so, it's not going to be enough if we are just looking at doing it randomly, just winging it. That's just not going to happen. That's just not going to that's not going to work itself, right? So really the thing that we are looking at here is that is there a proper process, that a particular way that we can get about doing it? And the reason why we want to do that is because number one, very simple, we have a goal, right? And that goal is to achieve a certain level of things that we want to do, right? So we have a goal that we want to achieve. Now, in order to get that goal, in order to achieve that goal, what we need to do, of course, is that we need to take a series of steps towards that goal, right? And so, thinking about taking a series of steps towards that goal, the whole premise behind that is that you may not be very familiar with the steps that you need to take, because if this is a goal that you have never achieved before, then it's going to be likely that the things that you're going to do, you have never done it before. And so there are a few things that you really need to do in order to get to the level whereby you are able to consistently and effectively do the necessary steps to get to your goal. And so that's what we're talking about here today, in terms of workflow. Now, so once you have the goal and you know that these are the steps that you need to take towards the goal, the whole premise behind this is that how are we able to do in such a way that it is always done and also is done at that level that we want it to be. Now, it's easy to say that, yeah, I just want, to get things done, but it's quite another to say that I want to be able to do, I want to be able to do it with that level of effectiveness and efficiency. So these two are pretty much separate there. Now, so one of the things that you really want to take note here is that in terms of the workflow, which means what is the first step that you take, what is the second step that you take, what is the third step that you take. So you can think of it like a routine, you can think of it like a morning ritual, you can think of it as a something that you do on a daily basis, right? Or something that you do like as a habit, for example, as I mentioned, a couple of days back. The whole premise behind this is that you want to be able to do it in such a way that it's consistent, it is effective, it is efficient. So let's talk about a few workflow that I have been using to kind of manage my work as well as manage my life. So The first one that I would like to share with you is the workflow for my live stream, right? So for the live stream itself, the primary aim is twofold. One is to be able to document my journey in terms of building this 1 person, 1 million all digital business. So that's one aspect of it. I want to be able to document it. At the same time, I want to be able to turn all these videos into what I call digital assets. So when they become digital assets and when it's being put out there, what's going to happen is that I'm going to be able to leverage these assets over and over and over and over again. And so it's a very simple way of thinking that that is the objective, right? I want to document my journey. I also want to produce turn it into digital assets that I could leverage it over and over and over again. Now, the other aspect of the other objective of it is that I also want many of these videos to be valuable. And when I say valuable, the whole idea behind this is that it has to be valuable from the point of view of the audience. I mean, it doesn't make sense if I'm recording all this, I'm producing all these videos itself, but it's just for my own consumption, right? I want to be able to share with my audience. I want to be able to share with people who think that they will be able to benefit from it. And so, I want to make sure that the content that I create is going to be valuable and effective, and it's going to be beneficial for the people who watch it. So, those are my twofold objectives there. So, I have an objective. Now, so then the workflow behind that is that every day I need to review what I've done and what I've learned and what specifically, have I experienced today that I could turn it into a learning point and to share it in this format, right? So some people think of it as like, blogging, but for me, I think of it as just live streaming it. And so every day I would go through the process, and certain time at a particular time of the day I would have a hard stop, meaning I would say that, okay, if I'm going to wait till, if the live stream is 10 o'clock and I'm going to wait until 8 o'clock, that is not going to be very effective because I do not have sufficient time to promote it. So what I really want to do is to be able to promote it beforehand, right? And so, there has to be a cutoff time. There has to be a fixed time that, by 3 o'clock in the morning, by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I would have decided that, okay, this is the topic that I'm going to be talking about. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. And that's where I will start writing it down. I will start writing the pointers down. I would also start creating the thumbnail for the video itself. And so that becomes that whole process of how I do it. Now, of course, then when it comes to the specific time where the live stream is supposed to go live, then that is where I will start putting all these things together. So, I'm gonna take another day whereby I'm gonna show you kind of behind the scenes. All right. So if you want to see behind the scenes, the gear, the setup, the way that I have been doing it, and all these things that have been put together to kind of make this live stream possible, valuable, high production level, make sure you leave a comment in the leave me a comment and type in setup, right? So if you want to take a look at the setup itself, make sure you type in the comment setup. Now, so I what I really want to do is I want to have the most efficient and the most you know without thinking, right? And I do not have to, oh, what does this cable go and where does this thing go? I have a certain process, I have a certain way. So I would turn on the switches in a particular way. I would plug in the cables in a particular way. I would put my light in a particular way. And then once all that is done, I am ready to go live. So there has to be a process so that, every day, what I do, before the in preparation of the live stream itself, what I do at the end of the live stream is to kind of roll back in reverse, right? And so right now I'm thinking of a few things like how am I going to enhance the live stream itself? How am I going to be able to fully maximize, right, and leverage the content that I'm already putting out? So if you got suggestions, if you got you know a great way to think about how you could um, how you can actually um, repurpose some of this content itself, let me know. I'll be more than happy to learn from you. And what are some of your tips that you have for that? All right, so let me know. Now, then, of course, the other thing really is that I want to be able to, think about how I can improve. And so that's where I'm kind of preoccupied all the time in terms of when I'm looking at workflow. So that is my live stream. Now, the other workflow that I have is the writing daily. And this is where I must admit, they're all writing daily is extremely hard. Right, it's extremely hard because you have to know exactly, you have to be clear in your thoughts before you can even write. And I like the adrenaline rush whereby I know that at the end of every day I need to produce one article, and that's something that I've been doing. But on and off, I sometimes miss a day, and then what I need to do is I need to catch up, and so that's how this whole thing kind of pan out itself. So you know um so when it comes to writing, typically what I like to do is I like to jot down ideas for the day, like what's going on during the day itself, and so that I'm able to kind of look back at the day later on when it's time for me to write, to look at it and to say that, okay, what are some of the things that I can talk about it at length. What is some learning point? Is there a unique observation? Is there a unique point of view that I could share so that I'm able to kind of bring something to the surface? To be able to surface it from the tacit level to the explicit level and codify that. That's the whole premise behind it. So one of the whole process of doing this is that it's really to codify the knowledge that I already have and to be able to document that, right? And so that's another workflow itself. The other workflow that I have, in the morning, it's very, very simple. Every morning what I aim to do is I aim to read the Bible, and then I would look at the verses that really resonates with me, and I will pick the verse that I would ask myself, how am I going to apply this, right? How am I going to apply it to my life? How am I going to apply it by teaching someone else? How do I do that? So that's another thing that I do, right? And so, these are some of the workflow that I have been doing. What are some of the workflows that you have? I mean, I would love to hear from you. So let's take a bit of time now, just greet some of these people online. Anyone here that it's online. Well, I see that there are quite a number of people who have been, in and out of LinkedIn. So, don't be shy if you happen to drop by. Just give me a thumbs up, give me a reaction, and leave me a comment, and I'll be more than happy to give you a shout out as well. Right. In case you're wondering, there is this thing called Clubhouse, and what I like to do is that if you have a need for, invite, I have some invites to spare. So if you like an invite to Clubhouse, make sure you send me a DM. And I think I have, if I'm not mistaken, I think I have three invites to share. So if you want it, make sure you let me know. All right, and so that is so much I have for you here today. I hope this has been effective, and this has been something that is meaningful to you. Well, let me know in the comments, and I'll be more than glad to talk to you a bit more in terms of workflow. Oh, and by the way, if you want to know about my workflow itself, head on down to melvin.me/workflow. And that is where you could see the workflow that I have adopted to get things done. And so, with that, I thank you so much for watching. And, you guys have a good day. And I'll see you guys on the next one.